One sunny Saturday, George went to the market to buy fruits and vegetables. George lives in Athens and is a graphic designer for a small company. Every day, he likes to squeeze some oranges and make a juice because he feels that this way he has more ideas for his job. We are observing George buying oranges in the market. The price of oranges is 30 cents per kilo, and we see George buying 5 kilos of oranges. Next Saturday, waiting for George to show up for his weekly shopping, we see that the price of oranges has changed, and now it is 40 cents per kilo. We are observing that George is now buying 3 kilos of oranges instead of the 5 kilos he bought last Saturday. So George buys fewer oranges now. Next Saturday, the price of oranges has changed one more time. This time, a kilo of oranges costs 20 cents. What do you think George will do this time? If you thought he will buy more oranges, you are right. So we are observing George and we see him buying 7 kilos of oranges. Let's see the overall financial decision of George. When oranges cost 20 cents, George buys 7 kilos, while when the price of oranges rises to 30 cents per kilo, George buys 5 kilos. And finally, when oranges cost 40 cents, George buys only 3 kilos. What do you notice? We notice that George buys different quantities of oranges depending on the price of oranges. We see that as the price of oranges increases, our friend George buys fewer kilos of oranges. So we notice that there is a negative relationship between the price of oranges and the quantities that George asks for and finally buys. But what does a negative relationship mean? It means that as one size increases, the other size decreases. The price of a good has a negative relationship with the quantity that consumers are buying. In our case, as the price of oranges increases, the amount of oranges that George wants to buy decreases. But the opposite is also true. That is, as the price of a good decreases, the consumers buy more of this good. So this is the law of demand. According to the law of demand, when the price of a good, a product or a service decreases, the quantity demanded increases. And on the other hand, when the price of a good increases, the quantity demanded decreases. All this happens when the other factors that affect demand are held constant. What does this mean? We will explain it in the next lesson. Stay tuned. What you need to remember now is that the law of demand only applies when the factors that affect demand, apart from the price, remain unchanged. Let's see George's demand table again. If we want to present in a diagram the three combinations of prices and the corresponding quantities of oranges, we will place the price of oranges on the vertical axis, while on the horizontal axis we place the quantity demanded of oranges. So when the price is 20 cents, George buys 7 kilos of oranges. Thus we have the point A in our diagram. Additionally, when the price is 30 cents, George buys 5 kilos of oranges. So we have the point B. And finally, when the price is 40 cents, George buys 3 kilos of oranges and we have the point C. Joining the points A, B, C, we draw the demand curve of George, which is not a curve at all in this case, but it has become prevalent among economists to address the demand curve as curve even when it is a straight line. This curve is downward sloping. Let's see now the abbreviation of the terms we used in the diagram. Well, we symbolize the vertical axis where we measure the prices of oranges with the letter P, which comes out of the price, while the horizontal axis, where we measure the quantities of oranges, we symbolize it with QD or plain Q, which comes out of the quantity demanded. Lastly, we symbolize the demand curve with the letter D, which comes out of the demand. Summarizing, today we learned that, first, by observation, we found out that as the price of a good increases, the quantity demanded decreases, and vice versa. Second, there is a negative relationship between the price of a good and the quantity demanded of this good. And third, the graphical depiction of the prices and the corresponding quantities demanded give us the so-called demand curve, which is downward sloping. In the next lesson, we will talk about the market demand curve. I am Patapia, and this was a video of the principles of economics in simple words. Thank you for watching, and if you want to enrich your knowledge in macroeconomics and macroeconomics, click the subscribe button on my channel. Share the video and spread the knowledge.